Ahoj, dobrý den. Dneska na vás čeká druhý díl videa o tom, jak vytvořit imperativ. Hello, today there is a new video, the second part on how to make the imperative. Last week I explained how to make the positive imperative, and today we are going to have a look at how to make the negative imperative. It's not difficult, but there are a few things that you should keep in mind, and we are going to start right now. I wrote the same examples as I did last week for the positive imperative. Počkej, wait. Mluv, speak. Čti, read. Pracuj, work. This is the positive imperative for the ty person, so it is informal singular. And on the other side, we have the negative imperative. Počkej, nečekej. We cannot say nepočkej, that doesn't sound right. Mluv, nemluv. Čti, nečti. Pracuj, nepracuj. In these three examples, we see that adding ne is enough. And here we have to change the verb. Why do you think that is? Počkej comes from the infinitive počkat. Počkat is perfective. I'm going to mark it with a dot. Okay, so dot for the perfective verbs because it's finished action. Mluv, the infinitive is mluvit. This is an imperfective verb actually. Mluvit. Já mluvím teď, mluvím pravidelně. I regularly speak or I speak now. Čti is from číst. Also imperfective, ongoing. Pracuj from the verb pracovat. That's also imperfective. We look to the other side and here we worked with the verb čekat. Čekat. Čekat is an imperfective verb. Já čekám teď. Budu čekat. Čekala jsem. Čekat has all three tenses. It's imperfective. Mluv, it's the same one. It's imperfective, imperfective and imperfective. So you can see a pattern here. We work with imperfective verbs mostly. I will get to that part too in this video. We mostly work with imperfective verbs for the negative imperative. Like I said, it's not correct to say nepočkej. We form the imperative just like we did last week. If you're not sure how to make the positive imperative, you can check the video here. So the bottom line is, it's very useful to know which verb is imperfective and which verb is perfective. Not only for imperative, but in general, for studying Czech. To demonstrate what I mean, how to work with perfective versus imperfective verbs, I wrote a couple of examples. There are 6 of them. I will give you another 12 pairs in total. Here we have a positive imperative with a perfective verb. Remember, the affirmative or the positive imperative can be both with perfective or imperfective verbs. Depends what we want to say. But in this section, I'm only going to give you examples with the perfective verbs so you see how that works. By the way, if you want to see what the perfective and imperfective verbs are, you can watch my video on this topic. Let's see. The first example. Dej mi to. Give it to me. Dej mi to. Dej. From the verb dát. Dát is the infinitive and it's perfective. Dej mi to. Dej mi tu knihu. Give me the book. Nedávej mi to. Don't give it to me. Somebody is really excited about a book they read and they want to give you this book and you're like, nedávej mi to, tohle mě nezajímá. Don't give it to me, I'm not interested in this. Nedej mi to in this case doesn't work. The infinitive is dávat. I'm going to give you a little bonus sentence. You could see nedej in a different context. Nedej se. That would be from dát se, to give yourself. Nedej se would mean don't give up. Don't give yourself in. Just one of the possibilities. You could also say nevzdávej to, don't be giving up. Later in this video, I'll get to a topic where you will see how this works. Podívej se. Look. From podívat, all of these are perfective, remember? And if I want to say don't look, there's a horrible scene in the movie, nedívej se. Nedívej se. From dívat, dívat se. Zavři dveře, close the door. Zavřít, that's the perfective verb. Zavřít dveře. Nezavírej dveře, ještě jdu ven. Don't close the door, I'm still going out. Zavírat. Otevři oči. Open your eyes. Remember, we don't say otevři tvoje oči or svoje oči. Just otevři oči. Open eyes. Otevřít. Neotevírej oči. Ještě je tam ta hrozná scéna. The horrible scene is still going on. Otevírat the infinitive. Kup máslo. Buy butter. From koupit. And nekupuj máslo, máme už 3. Don't buy butter, we already have 3 of them. From kupovat. Udělej mi čaj. Make me tea. Please. Udělej mi čaj, prosím. That would be better to add prosím. But in Czech we are sometimes direct in this case and it doesn't sound rude. We can maybe just make it sound nice. Udělej mi čaj. Udělat. Nedělej mi čaj, já už jsem přepitá. Don't make me tea, I've drank too much. From dělat. Let's do another set of 6 pairs. Zruš tu schůzku. Cancel the appointment or the meeting. From zrušit. Neruš tu schůzku. Don't cancel the meeting. From rušit. Rušit. In this context, it means to cancel, but rušit also means to interrupt. Imperative aside, if I ask, neruším, am I interrupting? Am I bothering you? That's a very good sentence. And we could also say, neruš, somebody keeps talking and it really bothers me. Neruš mě, don't interrupt me, don't interfere with what I'm saying. Sněz tu polévku, eat the soup. Eat it all. This is sníst, to eat. It's slightly different than yeast. Yeast means to eat, to be eating, imperfective verb, and sníst, to eat it all. Nejez tu polévku. Now I realized I wanted to use the red marker here for the negative. Okay. From yeast. Nejez tu polévku, je strašně horká. Don't eat the soup, it's terribly hot. Pospěš si. Pospěš si means hurry. Move your body. From pospíšit si. To hurry, to make an effort to be somewhere quickly. Or to do something quickly. Pospěš si. Nepospíchej. Take your time. Don't rush. From pospíchat. Notice we have pospíšit si to make this effort to be somewhere quickly or do something quickly. Pospíchat, to hurry, has no si. Zkus to. Try it. From zkusit. Ani to neskoušej, like some people would like to say. Don't even try it. Neskoušej. From zkoušet. And these 2 sentences are with verbs of movement, to go, which are always a little special. So, pojď sem, come here, and nechoď sem, don't come here, from chodit. Jít is not exactly a perfective verb, it's also imperfective, but it acts a little differently. I also wanted to give you an example of this verb so you can see, you cannot say nepojď sem. Běž pryč, go away. Or jdi pryč also is another possibility. All these 3 forms would actually come from the same verb, jít. We can say pojď sem, come here. Běž pryč, go away. Běž is this direction, outwards, as well as jdi, outwards. So běž pryč, go away, jdi pryč. But nechoď. Nechoď pryč, I meant to write. Nechoď pryč, don't go away. And again, it's not possible to say nejdi. And now we are getting into an interesting part. Even more interesting. I'm going to give you examples of negative imperatives, both with perfective and imperfective verbs. And you will see they differ. I'm going to start by giving you an example with a very interesting verb that you might not know, but it's so common, and if you live in the Czech Republic or have a Czech family, this is a must-know verb. Cákat and pocákat. Cákat means to splash. It's an imperfective verb. Cákám, I'm splashing, or I splash. To splash, to splatter, this is a perfective verb. Imagine this situation. There is a parent and a small child in the bathroom, and the child is bathing. and it's just having fun and splashing around, but the parent is not very happy because the water is dripping everywhere and the bathroom is getting flooded. So they say, Necákej tady, don't splash here. That would be from cákat. Now a little more specific situation. My mom is an herbologist. That means when I grew up, she would always dry herbs hanging or drying on the heating everywhere. And of course, she didn't want them to get wet. So sometimes she would have it in the bathroom too. So I'm pretty sure she told me more than once, Nepocákej mi ty byliny. Don't splash, don't splatter the herbs. Now, what is the difference? The difference is huge. First of all, Necákej tady is a general situation. Just don't be splashing here. That's understandable. We are using the imperfective, so it's a situation that's been going on. And this means the situation already started, just like the imperfective verb, and it's an ongoing situation. So you want it to stop. You say, stop splashing. Necákej tady. Don't continue with this activity. Whereas nepocákej mi ty byliny, you don't even want this situation to start. It means nobody is splashing, but you already see it in your head and you think, oh, don't even think of splashing. But then you have to say, what exactly is it that you don't want the water splashed on? Don't get the water on my herbs. That's why we have mi. Nepocákej mi ty byliny. Nepocákej mi ty boty. Don't get water on my shoes. You don't want the situation to start. Nepocákej. Necákej, stop it. You've started, but now I don't wish this to continue. Here's the second example. Ničit and poničit or zničit. Also very important verb, means to damage. Ničit, já ničím. This means when you make nothing out of something. So that's why it's ničit. And this is an imperfective verb. Poničit or zničit is perfective. Poničit is to damage a little. Zničit is to damage completely. I am going to give you all three examples. Because Czech people like to garden, and now spring is starting, so many Czech people are in their gardens preparing their little plants to grow. For example, onion, cibule. You know, onion, when it starts to grow, has these beautiful hollow leaves. Imagine a dog or a cat walking on top of these beautiful young plants. So you tell them, Nenič mi tu cibuli. Don't be destroying this onion. Stop destroying my onion. The cat or the dog started stomping on the leaves. We don't want it to continue. Nenič. A different situation is that you've now planted your beautiful onion plants. They are looking nice and ready to keep growing, but the cat or your dog is approaching. You tell them, Neponič mi tu cibuli, nebo Neznič mi tu cibuli. They haven't even started, but you warn them, don't start destroying my onion. Neponič, neznič. Again, neponič is don't damage it a little. Neznič, don't damage it completely. Another example is with something that we don't want to happen. Rozbíjet and rozbít, to break. Rozbít is perfective, rozbíjet is imperfective. I'm going to start by the bottom example because it's much more common than the one above. A child is playing with a glass on the table, spinning it or doing whatever. And the parent says, hlavně nerozbij tu skleničku. Don't break the glass. Hlavně means most importantly or primarily, but we use it a lot when it's something we wish the most. Hlavně to nedělej. Please just don't do this. Prosím tě, hlavně nerozbij tu skleničku. So in this case, we naturally don't want the situation to start. We don't even want the person start breaking anything, not even a little. So that's why nerozbij is much more common than nerozbíjej. Nerozbíjej ty skleničky would be a little bit more extreme situation. Don't be breaking these glasses. It would make more sense to talk about glasses in general because the child already broke one glass and it's going to break another and another. Or maybe it's just every day he or she breaks one glass because it just happens. So prosím tě, už nerozbíjej ty skleničky. An ongoing situation, we don't want this situation to keep happening. Stop breaking the glasses. Nerozbíjej ty skleničky. Hlavně nerozbij tu skleničku. Don't break the glass or don't even think of breaking the glass. You notice that this happens with verbs that are usually negative or the outcome is something that we don't want. Like here, splash, damage, break. So there it depends what kind of verb we use, whether it is perfective or imperfective. I wrote one more example with a verb which is also very common, and that is zapomenout, zapomínat, to forget. Zapomenout is perfective, to forget once or in the future. Zapomínat, keep forgetting. If I say nezapomeň koupit máslo, don't forget to buy butter. Now that you're going out, I really need the butter. Nezapomeň. A perfective verb, we don't want the situation even start. We don't want it to happen. I don't want you to forget. Zapomínat, this is imperfective. Nezapomínej pořád na maminčiny narozeniny, už je to hrůza. Každý rok to stejný. Stop forgetting mom's birthday. It's horrible, every year the same. Every time I have to remind you. This means it's an ongoing situation. You keep forgetting, I don't want this to continue. Nezapomínej. So when we have an imperfective verb used for the negative imperative, in negative order, we could use the verb stop to help us differentiate. Stop forgetting the birthday. Nezapomeň koupit máslo. Don't forget. Or in another situation, don't start. Our last part will be a little exercise for you. Let's work with the verb kreslit and pokreslit, which means to draw. Kreslit, to draw. Pokreslit, to draw on something. To make several little drawings or several lines on something. Which is the perfective form? This one, yes. Pokreslit. Pokreslit zeď. To draw on the wall. Now I want you to think of two situations how you could use these two in the negative form, in the negative imperative. First of all, how do we make it? Remember we said we need the oni form, so oni kreslí. We look for our stem, that is, we take away the ending. Our stem is kresl. It finishes with two consonants, and that means what? And that means we add I or ete if we wanted the formal or the plural form, vy. So we would have kresli and kreslete. Let's just write the ty form, kresli. Okay, this would be for the positive imperative. Now let's form the imperative from the second one, which is the same. Also, pokresli. We have pokresl. So that is the same case, pokresli. And the negative form would be, of course, nekresli and nepokresli. Can you think of two situations? A child is drawing on the paper is on the table, and you can see how it is going out of the paper, and you say, nekresli na ten stůl. Nekresli na ten stůl, don't draw on the table. The child already started drawing on the table, but you don't want them to continue. Nekresli na ten stůl. And the second situation, the child is drawing very nicely inside the paper, and you tell them your wish. I wish that you don't draw out of the paper. Nepokresli ten stůl. Don't get any drawing on the table. The child hasn't done it, but you just warned them before. Also, you might notice that we have kreslit na here. When you say you draw on something, but when you use pokreslit, then you don't use the preposition. Nepokresli ten stůl. I hope you enjoyed this lesson and you will put it to practice. Nezapomeňte imperativ a nezapomínejte se dívat na moje videa. Ahoj!